Anytime you get an opportunity to get a workout, take advantage of it. One way to fitness. One way to fitness. That's right. You heard it. One way to fitness. A push-up on the rock next to a swimming pool. Pretty crazy, but it feels good. The more, the better. The more, the merrier. Push-ups on a rock. One way to fitness. Can I do it with one hand? I'm not even gonna try.
Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, I'm so happy to welcome back Abu Mussab. Jazakallah khair, akhi, for coming back and talking to us today.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My pleasure is all mine, ya Sajid.
Alhamdulillah, the first episode we were talking about you embracing Islam and your da'wah, one way to paradise. And today we want to talk about another project that you have called One Way to Fitness. That is based around health, fitness, diet, that sort of thing. Very important topic. I myself am in dire need of some advice from you, akhi. So that's what we want to talk about today. So one thing I'm really hoping to benefit from is just, I guess growing up, I was an athlete. It's different when you're young, obviously, but always playing sports all year round. And then high school, I injured my shoulder. That sort of put an end to my athletic career. I was trying to go on and play basketball in college, but after that injury, that was pretty much it for me. So, as I'm getting older, and especially now with COVID, I think we're all a lot less active. So we were hoping today that you could give us some advice, maybe even help put together a routine for us. And I was thinking maybe just to motivate us, I myself could check back in a week or two, and maybe some of the subscribers, some of the viewers could also try to do this along with us. It was something we can do together, because part of fitness is just consistency. It's having people around you to encourage you and to remind you. And because I always seem to fall off after a couple of days or a week or so. So anyways, I don't want to keep rambling on and on, but that's what we want to talk about today. So I want to pass it over to you. Jazakallah khair.
Barakallah fiqh. No, you're not rambling. Actually, it's a necessary introduction, because you did highlight common issues that we all face. People that are active, and people that need to become active, and people that are completely inactive. The common trait, I would say, is that discipline. You need discipline and you need consistency. And those two are so hard to achieve. And different people use different means and methods to achieve them. But before we delve into that, maybe we could give a little background on what's going on here. And the reason why someone will say, okay, well, I thought you give lectures about Islam. And so why don't you stay in your lane, brother? And, let the athletes speak. And so we say, listen, maybe y'all got it, misunderstood. A Muslim is a person that should be as talented as he or she can be. There are some talents that are, you're born with, and there are some which you develop. There are some skills that you have to earn. And are we as Muslims supposed to aspire to be leaders, to be balanced, to prosper in this world? Absolutely. Not only expense of the life to come, not only expense of becoming negligent about the day of judgment, because ultimately, no matter what you achieve in this world, if you haven't built your real home in the life to come, then it's all worthless. But if a person is already on track, in the sense that they know their priorities, and they know that the most important thing in this world is to obey Allah and His Messenger, alayhi salatu salam, now that you're going to live on this earth for X amount of years, nobody knows, but let's just say hypothetically, based on the average age of a Muslim, somewhere between 60 to 70 years, you definitely want to live them in a way where you are not burdening yourself and not burdening others. And that's really the foundation of my motivation. When I think about it in the sense that I don't want to be a burden upon people. La qaddar Allah, if I don't take care of myself, at some point someone will have to take care of me, and that person, you should have mercy on them. And then, of course, first and foremost, the body which you have is an entrustment. Allah Azza wa Jal trusted us with this body. It's an amana, and you're supposed to fulfill the trust. And نؤدي الأمانات إلى أهلها. And in this case, this trust that Allah gave us, we shouldn't misuse it. Just like if you gave someone your car, you don't expect them to be, doing donuts and skidding and misusing the car, and bring you back the car all busted, and the tires are worn out, and the temperature is about to explode, and the radiator is busted. You say, "Hey, what happened, man? I gave you my car to you." Say, "Well, so really think about it, that Allah gave us these bodies. So what are you doing to them?" Now there are two extremes, right? There are people that not only do they not take care of their bodies, rather they go out of their way to actually mistreat their bodies, be it via smoking or doing drugs or drinking alcohol, things that we all as Muslims understand are extremely detrimental to your health and will definitely have an impact on you sooner or later, and are forbidden. So there's no blessings in them. Allah will not facilitate your affairs. You're not going to get any. It's absolutely a lost case, and it's a horrible transaction. And there's also a group of people that don't go to that extreme, or they may not engage in haram, but they do, or they are involved in so much permissible things to the point that they also fall into misusing and not really maintaining this body. And that happens through eating habits, bad eating habits, obviously. And then, of course, lack of exercise, being docile, being lazy, sitting too much, not moving around. And we know from the Prophet ﷺ, he was so fit that when he wrestled, probably the most qualified person back then, not like today, because people are saying that, the UFC, and they make certain exceptions for certain brothers who we love for the sake of Allah, but at the same time, what's wrong is wrong. You can't be hitting no face in Islam. This cannot be a sport where you're wearing shorts and just walking around punching people in the face until maybe the person dies. That's just like a red line you can't cross. I'm just putting this out there so people can understand things in context. So, your brother, don't talk down. No. Look, no one is more beloved to us than the revelation. I mean, we love all the Muslims for the sake of Allah, but anyone, myself, you, anyone who's going to cross a line to what is not permissible, it has to be called out, maybe respectfully, with giving a person the benefit of the doubt, making dua for them, all the good stuff. But what's wrong is wrong. And so the Prophet ﷺ wrestled, and back then wrestling did not involve any type of punching in the face or hitting in the face. Prophet ﷺ out-wrestled a person more than once in a way that no one ever thought he could, alayhi salatu wasalam. The Sahaba were known for being extremely physically fit due to their capabilities and to their involvements and their lifestyle in general. They were not people that would overeat. So I'm putting this in context. I'm giving this background so we can first understand that we have an issue. The lifestyle in 2020 is extremely different than people back then. We have all this processed food. We have all this sugary food. We have soft drinks. We have fried food. We have things that they actually didn't have back then, right? They weren't frying anything. They weren't eating what we eat today. Those are part of our diet. On top of that, we have vehicles and all, even escalators, elevators, anything which will prevent you from taking the stairs. So our lifestyle is already anti-activity, anti-sports, anti-healthy. And then on top of that, we got the corona, who even for the people that were somewhat active, now they had to stay at home. So all of these compiled and combined make it even more challenging for you to challenge yourself so that you get out of that situation and you make something happen. And alhamdulillah, the solutions are abundant and plenty. But what you need to realize is that motivation in you, that you want to be a strong Muslim, because the Prophet ﷺ said, "Al-mu'minu al-qawi khayrun wa ahabbu ila Allah min al-mu'min al-da'if wa fi kullin khayr." The strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah than the weak believer, and in each there's goodness. The scholars usually understand this hadith in the context of iman, strong iman, weak iman, no doubt. Some of the scholars, not a lot of them, but some of the scholars, they say, though, the general meaning of the word qawi and da'if, it is encompassing every aspect of the word. And that will include physicality. That would include his physical condition. So you being physically fit is actually better and more beloved to Allah, and that's something that you can relate to. I know I'm speaking a lot, but that's something you can relate to. Given a situation that there's an emergency, or there's a situation where you need to rely on your physical capabilities to maybe save someone's life, or to even save your own life, or to be a useful element in the society, certainly the strong person have a better chance of making something happen than the one who himself would need help because of their inactivity. So you want to think about it as a philanthropist type of thing. Like you want to be good for your own good, and you want to be good for the society, because that's what a Muslim is. You're always a source of goodness. You're like a tree with fruits. You're bearing fruits all the time, and people are benefiting from you, whether it is through your talks, whether it is through your energy, whether it is through your guidance. All of these are factors that, alhamdulillah, are accessible to us, but we just need that little push. So before I delve deeper, I know you have some comments, so I'm gonna shut up for a little bit.
Jazakallah khair. I just wanted to add that, in the beginning you were mentioning like, oh, how does this relate to Islam? Why don't you stay in your lane, talking about the deen? But being in good health, without even talking about necessarily just lifting weights and being strong physically, but even just eating right, sleeping right, taking care of yourself, it can make you feel just so much better, which has so many other effects in your life in terms of like things related to the deen, like just smiling, just being pleasant to be around, being nice, being in a good mood, praying, being able to pray properly with focus and all these different things. It really does affect you as a believer, as a Muslim. So hopefully that's another means of motivating us as Muslims to, this is a way to get closer to Allah.
So on a very basic level, Sajid, I've noticed people that are physically fit, even their performance of the salah, the ruku' and sujood, have requirements. And you have expectations. People that don't follow any healthy diet or overeat, they struggle in making a proper ruku'. So much so that the ruku', according to some of the scholars, could even be rendered invalid, which will render your salah invalid. I mean, it's a serious issue. And so these are things that you should be able. I'm talking about brothers who could be in their 20s, 30s, and still they're unable to do proper ruku'. It's not 90 degrees. It's like he's standing. He barely, because he has back pain. And I'm not talking about something that is chronic, something that it's just because a person is so inactive that his body is like in this dead mode forever, for the longest time. So even on that level, when you're active, your salah, the quality of your salah in terms of performing it as per the sunnah of Prophet ﷺ will be on a next level. Hajj, and for those who have done Hajj, the people doing Hajj requires some strength, some endurance, some, how many times have we seen the brother who took care of himself, mashallah, tabarakallah, getting double the reward during tawaf or sa'i by actually pushing someone on a wheelchair? Whether it is their own mom, a relative of theirs, or even a complete stranger. A brother who himself needs to be pushed on a wheelchair, you see, you're being a burden, and you're missing out on the reward. And this world is an investment, so you got to invest where you could. And that's one of the biggest opportunities that a lot of us may miss out on.
Yeah, and also, as you said, being useful. If you have that strength, for example, here where I live, there's people moving in and out of apartments and things like that. I mean, you can be such a good neighbor by helping them, move in, carry their furniture, or if you have like elderly neighbors that need help, doing physical things that because of their old age they can't really help with. So there's so many different aspects that can help you with your deen, get closer to Allah, get good deeds, be a good neighbor, a good son, a good brother or sister. So
absolutely.
With that said, inshallah, I have my pen and my paper. Let's I want to take some practical notes, some practical steps that, will help us achieve this goal, so we can talk about nutrition. We can talk about actual exercises, whatever, whatever you suggest,
طيب. You know the rule, yeah, Sheikh Sajid. The rule is, some call it 70-30, some call it 80-20. We're not going to differ on the breakdown or the the split. Either way, whether it is 70 or 80, working out or actually being fit is primarily what you eat. So whether it is 70% what you eat or 80% what you eat, that's still a big chunk of the 100% going towards your eating habits. So before we even talk about what we're going to do, we're going to talk about what we should be eating and what we shouldn't be eating. And I think most of us right now have access to Google, There's no rocket science. I'm not bringing any special information that I've formulated at home. I'm sharing information that is available on the net. Perhaps I might summarize some of it just to make life easy for y'all, but it's common. It's out there. So it is about the general principle of keeping your weight or losing weight is called the caloric deficit. It's the idea that you want to take in less calories than what you burn. If you burn more calories than what you take in, you're going to lose weight. That's just the way it works. What happens is a lot of people, mashallah, tabarakallah, their calorie intake per day is like so massive that even though they work out, they see little to no results, which is very important because that is one of the most demotivating factors in your discipline and consistency. When you don't see results, you're like, what am I doing this for? And then the whole thing kind of just fizzle away. And then next thing you know, you're khalas. You're like, you gave up on the whole project. And now you're eating even more and working out even less because you've despaired and you've hit the brick wall. So please, the first thing we got to understand is it's about controlling and managing the amount of calories you take in per day. You're going to say, yeah, akhi, who has time right now to calculate this thing has 544 calories in this? I don't got time to add that up. Neither do I. And I don't. But there are certain things which are known for, they're like notorious for being very high in calorie and very unhealthy for your body. And these things are the things that you need to avoid. On the top of the list, it is anything that is of sugary nature, specifically the processed sugar. Anything that has a sugar tablespoon, whether they put it in a cake, they put it in a pumpkin pie, they put it in a cheesecake, they put it in the drinks that you drink, the chocolate bars. Those things are crazy because your body does not need, according to the scientist or nutritionist, more than 50 grams of sugar per day. And those 50 grams, they also include 50 grams. Yeah. That includes fructose, meaning the natural sugar that you get from eating an apple or eating something that is natural that Allah created. That's why some people think, look, I'm going to go healthy. I'm just going to eat fruits all day. We say, no, it doesn't work. Because if you eat fruits all day, or if you drink fruit juice, which is even worse, because an apple juice is like 3-4 apples squeezed into a cup. You can't really eat 3-4 apples. That's a lot of sugar for your body that your body doesn't need. So if you were to drink them, you've actually taken so much sugar into your body that will turn into fat. So that's still unhealthy. And so you really want to be careful in terms of, especially in the beginning. If you will take it easy at some point when you've kind of regulated your eating habits and you're seeing results, so you've lost some weight, so you're happy with yourself, then you could start, taking, not cheating, but you could become more flexible with eating certain things that you otherwise would not want to eat, because you're not trying to be also some, Arnold, big figure. You want to be the biggest. You're not trying to have a fashion show where you're going to show your muscles. We know that much. The only one who's going to see it is your wife, and that's as good as it gets. And usually your wife doesn't care much. And I'm saying your wife as in everybody who is listening to me. Some wives are particular, but generally, even if you become fat, love is blind, as they say. And so if there's love, you're going to get by. So reality is we're not trying to achieve some massive results where you're going to be shredded and you're going to be this like mass that no one cares. What you want to make sure is that you don't have excessive body fat. You don't want to go above the 15 to 20% body fat. So that means you're going to avoid there's no such thing as Pepsi, Cola, Coca-Cola, Sprite. Forget that stuff. Honestly, forget that. In the beginning, forget that stuff. And that applies to the diet versions of it, because yes, they remove sugar, they replace it with other sweeteners, Allahu Alam what they are, that are human creation, that Allah didn't create in the way they are. And so they're absolutely harmful to your body. Next in line is fried food. Something that we all love. You have to stay away from fried food, especially deep fried food. Those things are so bad for you. I can't even begin to explain. And then the last one, or maybe the third before the last, is foods that are high in carbohydrates, but not any carbohydrates, because a lot of people don't realize that actually fruits and vegetables are carbs. They're actually carbs. We're talking about carbs that are from grains, not grains, I'm sorry, from dough and bread. Anything that falls under pastry and bread. Specific, whether it is white bread, wheat bread, whole grain bread. Yes, there's definitely some better than the others, but they're still all considered foods that are high in carbs, and they all have a negative effect on you. They're high in calories, and they will mess up the balance. So for you to go healthy, an ideal breakfast, for instance, would be like 2 or 3 boiled eggs, just boiled eggs, right? No bread, no sandwich. You're gonna say, yeah, akhi, but that's too much. That's not really tasty. I have, higher standards for eating. Sure, you do. We all do. But then, if you live like that, then don't expect any results. So, just you have to realize anything in this world that you want to achieve requires some form of sacrifice. And trust me, you will get used to it. Wallah, you will get used to it. Anything in this world, you will get used to. I used to drink coffee with sugar. And whenever I would have a taste of coffee with no sugar, I would say, how in the world can a human being possibly drink coffee with no sugar? Ya akhi, are these people nuts? Wallah, I thought that they had like issues. And I was the one with the issues, right? It took me maybe a few weeks until my body got used to drinking coffee with no sugar, to the point that one time I mistakenly I ordered a cappuccino, and the barista put sugar on his own. I don't know why. He thought maybe I was too skinny. He wanted to help me out. I don't know what he was doing. He put sugar on his own without consulting me. I took one sip. I was about to vomit. I felt like I was eating what would be like honey. If it tasted like pure honey, because I got used to drinking coffee with no sugar. So it's a matter of getting used to things. You have some boiled eggs in the morning. For lunch, you have a nice grilled chicken, preferably a chicken breast, which is, it has less fat, and you probably want to avoid the skin, the skin on top of the chicken breast, with some salad, tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuce, the usual stuff. And for the evening, you could have some beans. Beans are very good for you. Hummus is very good for you. I know this sounds, because I'm Lebanese, you think I'm trying to push an agenda for the Lebanese cuisine. No, I'm speaking in generic terms. You could use whatever cuisine you want. But this would be an ideal way of eating. Another thing in terms of eating habits is learning how to shrink the portion of food. A lot of people, they test their manhood with the amount of food they eat. They say, oh, mashallah, this brother is a real man. He could eat a whole cow. Say, brother, this is not really a real man. If he can eat a whole cow, that's a problem. That is a problem, because the Prophet ﷺ said that the worst container the son of Adam fills is his belly, is his stomach, and enough for the son of Adam is a few bites to keep his back straight. فَإِنْ كَانَ لَا مَحَالَ, if it's inevitable that you want to really knock yourself out and eat, فَثُلُثٌ لِطَعَامِهِ وَثُلُثٌ لِشَرَابِهِ وَثُلُثٌ لِنَفَسِهِ. That should be 1/3 for food, 1/3 for your drink, and 1/3 for you to breathe. So the biggest indication that you've overeaten is when you can't breathe. And most brothers, after they eat, mashallah, they unbutton the pants, and you see him sitting down like this. He say, akhi, we're ready to go. He's like, I'm ready to sleep, man. I don't know about you. And that usually happens in Ramadan just before Taraweeh. And that's why in Taraweeh, you're like, is the sheikh, are we not done yet? You say, brother, we haven't even started yet. You just want to leave and go to sleep. You're tired, your body's fatigued because you've abused yourself. So you start taking in lesser portion of food, something that I've trained myself to do. I'm able to eat, but I don't see it as manhood to eat a lot, because the Sahaba didn't see it this way. Prophet ﷺ didn't see it this way. Then I try to follow their footsteps with my shortcomings, and I don't see it this way. That said, you reach a point, ya Sajid, that you can actually turn your lunch into a lunch and dinner. So my current status is, because I'm an old man, and because I'm an old man, my metabolism is completely different than maybe most of your viewers who can easily achieve results. For me, achieving results is like climbing uphill. It's very difficult. The older you get, the more challenging that it is for you. And so what I do is I actually get a salad for lunch, and I eat half of it. and then I eat the other half for dinner. So a person will say, "Akhi, salad, like a salad with chicken, but still a salad. That's all you can. That's like an appetizer for me, because after the salad I have the main course, and after the main course I have my dessert, and throughout this I'm sipping on fizzy drinks." Say that's not gonna happen. So I split my actual meal into 2 meals. And now I've reached a point, and this is what I want to. This is if you're gonna benefit, if this is the only benefit you will get from this interview or this talk is this point, then I hope, inshallah, that would be it. You reach a point where if you eat beyond the portion that your stomach is used to, you will get sick. So nowadays, if I go to a restaurant and a nice place, and I want to enjoy myself, and I have the whole dish, I actually feel so sick. I feel so bloated, and I'm like not normal for a couple of hours. And every time I do this, I say to myself, Abu Mussab, you said to yourself last time you're never going to do this again. Wallahi, it's not worth it. It's not worth it that you eat the whole plate and now you're struggling. You can't even drink. I want to drink water. There's no room for water in my belly. It's a matter of getting used to things. When you get used to this lifestyle of shrinking your portion of food, by default, you're having a lower calorie intake and your body will adjust. Biggest evidence is Ramadan. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to ask, how long does it take for that to happen? I know during Ramadan, we sort of, in a way, get used to it, but we overeat at night. How long does it take until you start getting used to, eating a certain portion and it becomes sort of customary for you?
It varies. In my case, it took a few months. And what I'm saying is a few months in a sense is Sajid, that I would still be hungry. I would eat that smaller portion and I would still be hungry. Now you reach a point where that portion satisfies me. I'm no longer hungry.
See, it's important to know that, because as we, go down this path of trying to implement what you're saying, we need to have that in mind. Say, look, this might take a few months, but inshallah, eventually it will, it will actually happen for us. So it's important to know that.
Yeah. And look, man, a few months is nothing, akhi. When you learn a language, it takes you a few years. When you learn a skill, it may take you a few years. I mean, things take time. And the results are worth it. The bottom line is the results are worth it. And it may, again, I'm speaking from my age. Younger people adapt much easier, much faster. So you reach a point where, and like I said, and as you mentioned, the Ramadan, you the first day of fasting, you're like, what's going on here? And then like a week later, Maghrib comes in, you're like, I could fast till midnight. I could technically continue fasting. It's like, no, your body will adjust. Similarly, your body will adjust so that you can eat less portion. Once you have a lower calorie intake, now even barely or merely walking every day for a couple of kilometers will now become a big deal. Because those calories you're burning versus what you're taking in, and mind you, your body has its what they call that natural calories that are burnt in your based on your metabolism on your own, meaning in your still state, doing nothing, this blood circulation and everything that is going on in your body, you're breathing, that actually burns calories. So when you calculate your calories burnt during a workout, you have to also incorporate what will happen on your own. So I think the average is around 1500 or 1200 calories that your body burns every day on your own, even if you didn't move a leg. So if you've taken in 1500 calories, or let's say 2000, and your body burnt on its natural state around 1300, so now any exercise that will push you up above the 2000 will put you in this caloric deficit. So you're burning 2200 calories, you're taking in 2000, or you're burning 2000, you're taking in 1800, whatever the case may be. This 200 calories that you burn every day will start eating away from the body fat that you have. And it will start going away, and you start seeing results. Then you will reach a point where you master the process. And it's worth it. If you only knew how happy, how content you would be with yourself, you would not eat. You will say, this is such an easy thing to achieve. Really, I'm making a big fuss out of a piece of cake. And it's really, I think, partially as a Muslim, I think it's from the shaitan. And like in anything which is good for you, the shaitan is going to put obstacles and hurdles in your way and make it seem like it's such a difficult thing to do and that you're weak and you don't have discipline. Nonsense. Wallah, nonsense. You're so much more capable than what you think. You have so much potential, but you need to you put a process, you need to place a process in place, and then you need to stick to it and give it time so that you can see the results.
You know, one of the things that's so difficult about implementing this sort of stuff is because sometimes you'll have people around you who are, especially like in Muslim culture, mashallah, they want to keep giving you more and more food. They want you to eat that whole cow, you know? So it's like, how do you, like, I don't know, man, around the people, if you have people around you trying to feed you certain things that you don't want to eat or trying to give you more than you can, it makes it that much harder because number one, you have to sort of, you know, tell them that you don't want any more to eat or you don't want to eat these sweets. But also, it's just more enticing to you. It's harder because it's in your face, you know? Like, I know for me, when it comes to sweets and candies and sugar in general, I can't have it in the house because I get addicted instantly. If I have some of it, I have to eat the whole box. So I just need it out of my life completely. So how do you manage that? You know, people offering you food and it being around you.
Best question ever. And my methodology in life, in da'wah, and in matters of fitness is I'm always on the offense. I'm offensive. I take charge. I don't wait. Yeah. Look, think about it.
Yeah.
In anything. Instead of waiting for you to have to get attacked and then defend. And now when you defend, now there's so much more work that you have to do to be courteous and considerate and make sure and this. And it's such an agonizing, lengthy process. I actually initiate. I set the rules. You understand? So when you do that, now you've reversed the pressure on the people rather than the pressure being on you to be accommodating to, you know, what they want. No, I reverse it on them respectfully. Again, please, I'm not saying you're going to go in there and say, what are y'all doing over here eating this junk food? I'm leaving. No, it's not going to work. But you, with respect, you begin. How do I put it? I'm like at the office where I work at Samsung. I am the police, the unhealthy food police. I literally walk around, and if I catch someone eating a snack, any type of chips or some of these gummy bears, I'm like right in his face, like, bro, what did I tell you, man? What did I tell you about this? And I take, of course, it's all in the joking man, and people love it. Believe it or not, people love it. And I take the bag out of his hand and say, yo, akhi, come on, man. Come on, you always complain. You say, mashallah, brother, you're much older than me, but you're fit. And then you complain, and what you doing? What you doing over here? No, you say, wallah, jazakallah khair. Look, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Jazakallah khair. If you see me doing this again, stay on my case. So people, I'm always taking charge so that when they come and ask me, they don't even. Right now, whenever there's an event in our office and there's sweets going around, if they see me just holding the thing, everybody's like, hey, what? Abu Mussab, you hypocrite! You don't let us eat, and you have it in your hand and say, guys, calm down. I'm gonna go to the gym, inshallah, and burn it up very soon. But I've already programmed the people around me, and it's not gonna be from the first time you invite it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've programmed the people in my environment that, look, this is a lifestyle. This is not just me on a diet trying to, lose a couple of pounds. No, this is a lifestyle I live by. And then you respect me, I respect you. So respect my preferences without being offensive, without being disrespectful. But I set the rules so that the people don't put any more pressure on me. Rather, I put pressure on them to take it easy on themselves and don't overeat and be careful of this food. I try to give them a little talk, about the benefits of being healthy.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I try that too, but the thing is, people will say, oh, but it's just, every once in a while it's okay. But like I said, for me, it's addicting. I can't just have one. So I have to completely avoid it. You know what I mean? So it's like when some people, when they see that you don't want to eat it, they want to make you eat it even more. You know what I'm saying? But I guess you just got to stick to your principles,
No, but look, to be fair, I don't know how addicted you are, Sajid. If somebody gave you a candy, you're just going to run to the grocery store and buy 2 boxes? I don't think so. So, after you reach certain results, if you're invited to someone's place and they give you a candy bar, they give you something sweet, enjoy it. Alhamdulillah, you can enjoy it, but it doesn't mean
okay,
you say to yourself, okay, that's it. Because I ate this one, I'm going to go eat another. Come on. You can manage that.
We'll see how that goes, inshallah. All right, man. So
I'm worried already.
Yeah, so for the nutrition, I think we're good, man. Let's talk a little bit about the exercise. If you have any tips on getting in shape, push-ups, whatever the case may be, stretching.
Oh, there's plenty of stuff. Look, there are 2 scenarios or 2 availabilities. You either have access to a gym, and I know you guys in the West have a hard time with the gyms because they're mixed. And there's all types of evil stuff. Alhamdulillah, here, and as you've lived here, our gyms are segregated. So there's a male gym and a female gym, which makes life much easier. And because I do CrossFit personally, I do CrossFit, and it doesn't have to be that everyone does CrossFit, but the benefits of CrossFit is that you have a coach and you have a program and you have everything set up for you. So instead of you depending on your energy, where you go to the gym and you look at all these weights around like, man, I feel lazy today, I'm just going to go back home, which is what happens to a lot of people. They spend half of the time on the phone, they take a couple of selfies, a couple of bicep curls, and then they go home. When you have an instructor, a trainer who's on your case, and he has a program, he has a workout on a board that you need to follow, you've paid money, right? You've paid money for the gym subscription. You're about to get the job done, right? That will make it easier for people that either want to achieve big results or people that are less disciplined. So that's how you manage your lack of discipline, where you place yourself in a predicament where either you've paid money or you have an instructor or a trainer that is on your case to make sure that you're getting the job done. It's not rocket science. If you don't have that or you're disciplined enough, akhi, there are so many things you could do from home. I could definitely share with you guys. Maybe I'll share it with you later, so you can post it in the description. Workouts, a whole month workout. For example, week 1, it's very simple. You don't need any equipment. You do this from home. You do, for example, 7 minutes of 30 seconds of jumping jacks, 30 seconds of squats, 30 seconds of high plank, and you do 4 rounds of that. And then you go on and do 30 seconds of knee push-ups, 30 seconds of forward lunges, 30 seconds of mountain climbers, and you do 5 rounds of that. Then you do 30 seconds of high knees, 30 seconds of inchworms, and 30 seconds of jump squats, and you do 4 rounds of those. This is week 1, and you follow the same program. Then they have week 2, week 3, week 4. This stuff can be done from home. The workouts are very easy. The exercise is easy once you follow the right technique, because there's technique that you need to follow. For example, when you do a squat, it's not just about you throwing your body down and then getting back up. There's a form that you need to follow. You need to make sure that your hips are a certain way, the length, the distance between your 2 legs is equivalent to that of your shoulders. Your back is straight the whole time. You're squatting properly. Your hips are going below your knees. It's not up above that. Certain techniques which are also available in many applications. I'll give you a link to an application, inshallah, that has all of that broken down for you. And so it's just a matter of you making this part of your daily routine. Imagine if it was, I don't know if people have to trick themselves. Sometimes you do. Imagine if your job said, look, man, if you don't get in shape, if you don't follow this program, you're going to get fired. And most people say, I'm not willing to lose my job. In fact, people are willing to learn a language in order not to lose their jobs. So just consider it that it's something that is non-negotiable. How you want to do that is up to an individual. How much negotiation with yourself do you need? Some people are self-motivated. Some people need this kind of toughness. Whatever it takes, place yourself in a situation where this is non-negotiable. It's not open for discussion. It's not up to me. It doesn't depend on my feelings. You got to do this every single day. And once you do this regularly and you start seeing results, then just like you're addicted to sugar and sweets and candy, you will be addicted to working out. You guys have no idea. I've reached a point personally for my age. And alhamdulillah, I say this and I want to teach a part of the sunnah. I'm 42 years old. Yeah, brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. By Allah's grace and mercy, and may Allah bless me, may Allah bless all of you. Whenever you see something that is pleasing to you, say Barakallahu feek, and that's the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. If I miss a day of working out, I get depressed. I feel like there's a major part of my day missing. Nowadays we reach a point where I work out after my job. I finish at 5:30. I go. The gym starts at 6 o'clock. The workout starts at 6 o'clock. I work from 6 till 6:45. Then I go home and then we play soccer twice a week, sometimes once a week after the gym. So it's complete 45 minutes of weight training, and CrossFit is very tough. You have all these weights and barbells and dumbbells and so on and so forth. Then we add on to that some cardio, because cardio is the greatest thing you need for you to burn calories. Of course, lifting heavy weights is helpful, but that's advanced. I don't want to make anything complicated for anyone. You don't want to need any weights, but cardio, running and jogging are so effective, especially in the early stages, because those are the things that are getting your body used to. Your joints are getting used to movement, your muscles are getting used to movement, your digestive system is getting used to your new lifestyle of eating less and working. And once you start progressing with this, then you could develop and move further into more advanced working out, and you could get incorporate weights or resistance bands, and there's so many things that you can buy online, or you can buy from the local sports shop that will help you improve and enhance your skills. Whatever floats your boat. The bottom line is, people vary. There's no one way. Even though there's one way to fitness, but there's no one way in the sense, it's whatever suits you the best. But don't be hasty. Don't expect immediate results, and don't feel disappointed if you don't achieve things as soon as you want, because people vary. The genes, the way you're created, has something to do with it. Some people naturally don't gain weight. Some people naturally easily gain weight. So you have to give yourself a break and give it more time, invest more into it. And then inshallah ta'ala, once you see the results, I'm telling you, it will become a lifestyle. It's no longer, I don't think, along these lines anymore. And you do reach a point, by the way, when you are so active, Yasajid, that you cannot really eat to some degree what you want. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not in a military where you know, it's not like haram for you. So you reach a point where you've done enough, and you're working, you're exercising enough, that you actually can go out and eat a nice juicy burger with French fries and a soda, and you could finish it off with a, you know, whatever, carrot cake. It's not going to become your daily meal, but that's something that you can have every now and then, and your body will be completely fine with that, because you've already trained your body. You're already used to a lifestyle that is not involving all the unhealthy food that, you know, the fast food that people are used to eating all the time. Pizza, burger, frozen dinners. Oh my, don't even ask about frozen dinners. And learn how to read the back of any product that you buy. You will be surprised. You will be surprised that, you know, the chocolate chip muffin, the average sweet you get from Starbucks or one of these coffee shops is like 700-800 calories. One slice of cake is 800 calories. You can have a whole, no, 2 grilled chicken salads, and those salads will have corn and beans, pinto beans and black beans, and all types of other vegetables, and it's around 350 calories or 400 calories. So you can either have 2 filling salads, which could technically become your breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you eat them properly, or you can have 1 muffin. And people eat a muffin in the morning, a muffin at lunch, muffin dinner. You've just added 2,400 calories to your body, which you will not burn, minus, you know, the actual breakfast, actual lunch, actual dinner. Do you see what I'm saying? So those little things that we don't pay much attention to are the actual detrimental elements that are making our mission difficult, when it's actually very simple.
Jazakallah khair, akhi. This has been very beneficial. I'm thinking of some ideas regarding how we can really start implementing these sorts of things. When I was in Medina, brothers used to have like push-up groups where every day you had to do 100 push-ups, or else they would kick you out of the WhatsApp group. And I know brothers, it would motivate them, and they would talk about how, I remember one brother, he said he felt like his iman was going up as he was working out more and more. So
Wallah,
I'm
true.
kind of, yeah, man, I'm thinking that perhaps what we can do is I'll post like an unlisted video in the description or down in the comments. I'll pin it, and then people can click that, and it'll have all the exercises. Because you mentioned a lot of different things, but I think many of us who are new to working out, we don't know what they are. So maybe we can have an actual video where brothers and sisters, they can click that link and see exactly what the workout is for that week or that month. And then every day people can check in and say that they did it. And then all as a group, we can sort of motivate each other. And then, you know, just build upon that. Hopefully, if we can consistently do it for a while, and then add new exercises and also diets, maybe some food recipe ideas and stuff like that. Because although this is about da'wah, that's the main purpose of this channel. As we mentioned, this is part of our deen. This is part of the lifestyle of a Muslim. So yeah, so everyone check the description. Inshallah, we'll figure that out. By the time this goes up, I'll have something organized in that regard, and then we can check back in, and inshallah, it'll be a you know, good news that we've been sticking to the plan, inshallah. We didn't fall off or anything like that. So
Not allowed. Not allowed. I'll make a group and I'll kick you out of the group also. I mean, yes, look, if this is what some people, that's what it takes. For me, for what works for me, for example, is there's an application. I'm going to promote Samsung there's an application called Samsung Health, which is ironically available on the iOS, on Apple products, iPhones. And Samsung Health allows you to add challenges, walking challenges, steps. It's called Steps Challenge. There's a global challenge and there's an individual challenge. So if we both have each other's contact, I can actually challenge you for 50,000 steps. Whoever reaches 50,000 steps will get a prize. Obviously, the prize is going to be a badge, nothing monetary. Nevertheless, you will be surprised what this has done for me. These challenges I've had with people, because I don't like to lose. And I reached a point sometimes where if I'm standing in front of the elevator because it's 10 floors, I'm not, if I actually didn't take the stairs, believe it or not, 10 floors, I would take the stairs down and up more than once a day because I wanted to win the challenge. If I'm standing in front of the elevator, I'm just pacing. I'm going back and forth. I just can't stand. Once, there was a few hours left for the challenge, and this brother, mashallah, tabarakallah, he sent me the challenge, and then he went and maybe stayed on the treadmill for 3 days. The guy was destroying me, and I thought I was doing a great job, and I saw myself behind, I'm about to lose. I went to a retailer, like Best Buy or something, and I was walking in the store for like 2 hours, and like each staff member's like, hello, are you lost? Can we help you? I'm like, look, man, you're not gonna understand this, but just let me be. I lost the challenge, by the way. Nevertheless, I made a sincere effort. So sometimes what it takes for some people is that when you challenge them, you find a buddy, you find a partner, someone that will motivate you. So you motivate each other, someone to keep you in check. I'm glad you mentioned that, because anybody listening to this, if you have anyone in your family that is already active, then tell them to get on your case. If you have any friends that are also struggling like you, then create a kind of a partnership between the two of you where you both keep yourself in check and you both motivate each other back and forth. It is very effective, because when you're on your own, yes, the everything will become, the laziness will take over, and you'll feel the biggest achievement in life is that you wind up eating a cake and not working out, and it feels like you feel like you committed a crime, but it's so tasty and it's so fulfilling. That's how it is. The feelings become exaggerated because it's taboo. It's something you're not supposed to do, and so suddenly it feels so much better. And you got to understand the psyche behind it. So when you know this is the case, someone that keeps you in check, if it's a family member within the same household, that's even better. So a person will be like, this is not cool. This is all right. Do this. Don't do that. We've made an agreement. It will go a long way, inshallah, in making your life easy.
Jazakallah khair. Everyone check the description. We're going to have links to One Way to Fitness, One Way to Paradise. Make sure you follow and benefit. Jazakallah khair, Abu Mussab. And then I'll also add something before this goes up. I'll add some sort of a group or unlisted video or something with some exercises. And I'll make sure that they're just things that we can do at home, something simple that everyone, inshallah, there's no excuse for anybody not to do it. And then we can, hopefully, this will be the beginning of, getting in good shape, and we can check back in and talk about the results.
Yeah, I already have a video on my YouTube channel, One Way to Fitness, which is a very small channel. I really don't advertise it. But I do have a video where I've shown some of those exercises that I mentioned to you and the proper form of doing that. If time allows, Perfect. Inshallah, I will try to do the other ones that I mentioned, just so that I can show you the right form. Because the biggest challenge that every Muslim has is when you go online to search, all you get is music and nakedness. And I think a lot of us want to learn, but then, you get exposed to different stuff. Finding the halal alternative is a challenge. Inshallah, we'll try to the best of our ability, either find something that is already halal, or we try to create that halal alternative so that you can learn how to do the proper thing without having to see someone, half dressed, showing you the exercise.
Inshallah. And everyone who's made it this far, all the subscribers who want us to implement this thing, get on our case and post comments and remind us, inshallah. And, we can all help each other out and motivate each other, inshallah. So, Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much. Inshallah, we'll meet again soon and, discuss other things. I really appreciate your time. And make sure everyone follows and supports our brother. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.